Interpretation of faith. Thank you for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. If you're new, then, welcome to a whole big world of nothing, where we talk about things in a way that is hopefully humorous, in a sense that, first of all, we all have one. Second of all, those of us that don't have one at least open up themselves to the idea that, there are, in fact, many more ideas other than, in fact, their own. Yes, this is just the way it works. And so let's talk about interpretation of faith. And so, it comes across on the channel from time to time. We make 4 videos a day, and religion is a popular topic. We've established that some people believe in religion and some people don't. And either one of those perspectives is absolutely okay. It makes you no less human to not believe in any kind of God than it does just as much for you to believe in one, right? I think it's fair game to say that in the social realm of acceptance, it's hard to make an argument for any side to justify exclusivity as it pertains to the human condition. You feel me? And so, all of that being said, I want to talk about something perhaps controversial to those of us that are older in age and perhaps a little more, indoctrinated with the thought that only, your ideology exists in a world where, there are more than 7 billion people, and that means more than 7 billion, potential different perspectives on the human condition, right? And so it's definitely something that is very unique to the person that has that experience. Collectively, we try and share some of these experiences either through secular or atheist or agnostic or Abrahamic or Hindu or Buddhist or other different kinds of religions in any kind of a way. But regardless, it's fair to say that we all have some kind of belief system. Even if we don't have one, that's kind of having one, you know what I mean? And so, here's the thing. Religious interpretation, our interpretation of faith, is, in my opinion, not to be dictated by the people that are in charge of the show. Okay. And I understand that, once more, from my own perspective, my own interpretation of faith, as it would be, as the most hypocritical perhaps of all of them, in being a Roman Catholic, right? Again, okay, there are many things, obviously, that I'm not proud of, in terms of my religion. And I won't shy away from these things. My religion has committed some terrible atrocities. In its history, we have made some mistakes. Absolutely, and that doesn't negate any sort of accountability or conversation that must be had in its uncomfortable sort of iterants, right? Because it's uncomfortable talking about huge mistakes that have impacted populations throughout history all over the world, right? And so just as much as critical race theory is hard to talk about, when you're privileged, middle class, white, and claim to be liberal, you feel me? Some things in life are just uncomfortable. Have you ever tried wearing, a pair of pants that doesn't fit, right? It's just sort of yeah. But so again, there are a lot of examples in life where it's open to interpretation, and the people that are telling you to believe a certain kind of way, and if not, then you're not a part of that club kind of a thing, I'd say are the people that have the most to lose in terms of trying to, bring some kind of uniformity to their team. However, in the process, I feel like most of these leaders don't really understand that the people who follow their belief system and the people who believe in their faith, believe in their faith. They believe in the ultimate ideology more than they do, I'd argue, the human beings, sort of telling other human beings to behave in this way. So what I'm trying to say in a long, sort of roundabout kind of a way is that your faith is your interpretation of it. Like, you can cherry pick. Obviously, cherry picking, in a sense of religion is tough to even like openly admit, again, because what else is it, other than an ideology that cherry picks, from those people who advocate for it and fail to talk about all of the negative things or don't want to address the problems within that sort of religious theory or ideology, right? And again, it's, as far as I'm concerned, I think people should be allowed to practice their faith and or religion by interpretation more so than they need to follow what other human beings are telling them to do or how to interpret that content, right? It's like, me watching a video on YouTube and then somebody else telling me how I should perceive that content. I'm going to perceive it how I get it. You feel me? Most often based on my experience. And if human condition leads me to believe anything, it's that sometimes religion does a better job of making people separated instead of bringing them together just by simple little, changes in the story or, these in challenging authority and stuff. And again, I can put it like this, like I in my opinion of my interpretation of my faith, it's far beyond hypocritical, and I'd even argue blasphemous to assume that any sort of God or ever loving being would want to have people killed in their name. I'd in fact argue that's exactly the opposite of what any good and all loving deity would want. You feel me? Like they would in fact like want not, for people to kill, especially in their name, right? Like if I'm the leader of like good, I'm not gonna have like kill, for me. And I think that is like a super stupid simple way to put that, in terms of you want people to have free will, you want people to do the right thing, and you don't want people killing other people, which again, from my perspective, is my interpretation of my faith. You understand? Is that I ultimately don't believe in killing people, whether or not it's for the big guy or for some, arbitrary righteous cause that, terrestrial sentient beings seem to come up with on this planet as justification to kill other people. So, interpretation of faith, it's all yours.